Welcome back to Rusty Nuts, and you join us back at Mad Ford Engineering, and tonight I am reassembling the rear axles. So currently we've got the back plate on, it's just tightened up these are Whitworth bolts. We need to swap, did something wrong the other night, so need to swap over the brake cylinders because I didn't realise that the back plates are side specific, as are the cylinders, so they're round the wrong way. So when I mounted this first up, this cylinder should sit at the top here, nice and central, and it was like over there. So we'll be swapping those cylinders over now. So the back plates are on the correct sides, so the cylinders do line up, but the outlet on the back, if you can see here, this one here, the blanking, the actual outlet should be facing the back, and there's a blanking plate here which should be facing the front, so they need swapping over. So we'll swap those two over and then that'll be good. And Mick will show us how to do shoes a lot easier than what we did the other night. I'll put some footage in of us really struggling to sort that out, like 4 of us holding it down, which was fun. You were there. Liam just lent some grunt, that was all. But he doesn't want to be involved in the whole debacle because it was pretty bad. And yeah, so once they're sorted, then we'll get on to actually building this back up. So Mick's going to show me how to pack bearings and how to assemble the hubs, and then pop that back on. Job's a good one, and then I'll move on to the other side, do that side, and then we need to get the front done. But we decided to do it while on the springs, because it's just far easier to get it sorted and access it, and while all the weight is off, we could position it on there, whereas once everything's built up and stuff, it's gonna be a nightmare. So let's crack on.
On the floor. Right, pull your wheel cylinder out now, Dave. Is you ready?
Yep, let's do it. Yep. Beautiful.
It's easy as that.
Well, it's easy when you know, innit?
It's easy when you've got 4 hands doing it.
Well, we had 4 people the other night. Did not look that easy. Right, so Mick has just helped us fix these cylinders, so just pulled those apart while I took the cylinder out, and then we just swapped them over side to side.
Tight, yeah.
Yep, now it's all good. Mick is going to show us how to lube up.
So I'm right-handed.
Yep.
So we take a sizable amount of lubricant.
Yep.
So literally, I like to put it in the palm of my hand. Can you see the grease coming through the bearing there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just go round, round, round. See it coming through the little doofers?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you've got it all through the middle, you can take that bit out and put that back in your hand.
So you just want it to ooze through the other side, so you know it's all packed through then, don't you?
All the rollers completely packed. I feel like I'm doing this khaki-handed. We don't normally do it this way, I don't think. There you go. You see all the grease now?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All the grease has come through the rollers.
Yeah.
So you know that's completely greased now. So what you do, take a bit of that, put it around the outside.
Okay. I'll take that.
And that's one completely greased bearing. I remember doing this as a kid, as an apprentice, on old cargo wheel bearings. Used to use 3 tubs of that on a truck. And once you've packed the bearings,
Yeah. We rub it a bit around in
that's
here.
just your hub. Now,
Is that what that channel's for there?
yeah. There's an old wives' tale that you've got to pack the hub completely with grease. It's horse shit. It's got to go somewhere when it gets hot, so you don't put that much in.
I get that's the problem, isn't it? Like even in Haynes, it says pack out your.
No, you don't need to pack that much in. So there you go.
So you're rubbing it around the.
Yeah.
They're called races, aren't they?
Yeah,
And that inner channel.
yeah, bit in that one. Done. That's it.
Got ya.
So just a little bit of grease in there. Done.
Beautiful. Right, so dollop of grease, wheel bearing, and then we're just smudging it in. So smudging it into that, and then I'll see the grease coming out the top here, and then I know that it's gone all the way through, and just keep moving around and around, grease it around the edges, all that, and then pop it there and it's ready to go in. I certainly don't have it, but it's a good excuse to get messy. Hello. See, it's smudging.
Good action, David. Good action.
I'm trying. I definitely haven't got as good an action as you,
Wow.
but
Good action.
need to practice my lubing. Yeah, I've just got grease all on my trousers. If anybody's been watching Clarkson's farm and you've seen his pain of putting on his vinyl gloves, he needs to get down to Screwfix and get some of these sight ones. They don't rip. So you can give them a good yank and they're on. So let's do this side then. So let's get bearing in. So we take one slimy bearing. Whoop, let's bring that in there. I'm just going to drop that into the back, so big in the back. Baby got back. That's in there. Right. And then we need our seal. So this recess section, there we go, goes inwards. So your flat section then sits on like that.
They are as long as you get to the back of them.
Right, let's pop them in.
What's the actual proper name? Which I call him Clam. Oh, it's something bad enough you don't do it at the wedge of metal and slices the thing.
There we go. Got him in there, nice and flush. See? And then, whoosh.
The good thing with these, you can adjust. If you're using like a fat bit of metal.
There we go. He's on. Nice. So now bearings on the front. Now we have a small bearing. Look at that on the front.
Right, I'm just going to take this off again and spray it with some well-proof cotton.
That's in. So when you're doing this is our lock washer.
Say what?
You want the thick one, not the thin one.
Yeah?
Yeah. You bastard.
What were you saying?
Screw you. Don't look at the light.
Drilled the holes.
So, mix head.
Nick. Spin. Back off.
Yeah.
Nick. And that will be set short.
Head. Tighten it up.
Here we've done the preparation. I'm going to
Nip it up.
never forget to put well-proof.
Spin it round.
You know it's wrong if you don't do it right.
Back it up.
So we
Nip
can
it
do
up.
that, get it lined up, get it welded in, bosh, done, then move on to something else.
I think that's good.
Oh, eldest used to play with two eldest.
Two elders.
Two eldest
Used
used
to
to
play
play
with
with
it. Shut up.
Bop it!
Shut up.
Wow! Game over.
Well, the guy now was hungry in the clouds.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to think at all. Just smash it.
I did destroy more than one.
Do you remember the game Buckaroo?
Yeah.
Aye.
Off the rails.
Yeah, man.
Mouse trap.
Mousetrap, yeah.
Took you longer to set it up than to...
What do you think to Aaron?
No, I'm alright for mint. Aero with the bollocks. What, mint, orange or original? And do you nibble all the chocolate off to leave the... Oh, yeah. No.
Don't talk to Mick about bourbons. Put the bearing in. then the thick washer, then a nut. Did that bit you saw. Then lock washer, nut on, tighten that up. Bash the lock washer down, one side inwards, this side outwards. I nicked it there. Don't tell Mick. And then we're gonna half shaft in, and new O-ring on the outside. And then we'll smash that nice bit on so it looks all cool. Holy smokes. So, half shaft. We've got a wee little paper gasket on here. So we're just going to replace this little fella on here. Little pick. Off he comes. Right, get a new one. Britpart quality. There we go. Bit of grease. Saw Mick do this and it looked good. Right. Here's a Mick's special tool.
Hold on to that.
I thought you meant me then. Just going to clean this up like I did on the other side, and then I can go back on. Oh, my knees. I'm getting too old for this. Right, so just tap this back on, and then just lining up my little screws to go in. So put these back on so we don't lose them. Right, the rear axle is rebuilt. So we've got the drums, everything back on. Way! We just got to wait now for the, we need to get the shocks. The shocks are like 50 quid each, so they'll look like these ones here. So Mick was saying that because Bob's military, we have to get these nitrogen filled ones here, like it's on this, and you also have to use them when you've got parabolics as well because of the higher ride height. So yeah, we need to get those. So spin you back around if I can. There we go. So once they come in, then we can get this all bolted up and looking good. We need to get the front in, but probably going to wait until Liam's finished on this section, and then we can bring the front axle in. We're going to get it inside anyway because it's outside at the moment going rusty. And then we can do the same, slot that in on the springs on the front and work on it there because it's just a lot easier just to manoeuvre around it. And all we did here was just put an axle stand just under the diff, just so that it's supported when we're doing all these bits of, but good progress. So that's all done. Gonna get that front one in. Right, so front axle is in. We've dropped that in place. Don't want to get in Liam's way too much, but what we'll do is rebuild this one up in the next episode. So as you can see, we've slotted that in. Again, it's just a lot easier to get it in before it's built up, so you haven't got the bulk of the back plates and things like that to try and get them through. Even trying to get the diff through in between the bump stop and the spring is quite tricky. So yeah, that's dropped in there nicely. Then what we'll do is build up each side, similar to what we've done on the back. That'll be ready, and then we can start getting it all bolted back together once we've got the shocks and stuff as well. So yeah, it's looking good. Liam is just working away on the bulkhead, and Eileen's been an absolute diamond on the parts wash. We have many boxes of Bob's engine bits, so there's one here. We're starting to fill up other boxes down there. We've got bits over there, and we've got bits over there on the shelf, all which have been going through the parts washer. So before we can start reassembling the engine, that all has to get done. Bob's head is complete, and we'll talk to you about that when we do the engine footage. But this needs to get done so that we can start building the engine up. So Eileen is doing an awesome job. So we'll leave it there for tonight. If you are liking what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. And if you want any merchandise, things like that, there'll be links down below for Rusty Nuts merch, Mix merch, which is Mad Forward Engineering, which is, we've got the use of this amazing workshop that Mix kindly let us do. So That's incredible. So if you can, go and follow him over on Twitch. And yeah, there's a link down below if you want any DJI equipment. You can go through to their website, and it won't cost you any more, but it will give us a little kickback from DJI as well for anything that you do purchase. That'd be great. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Bob's Restoration.